First, let's examine another accusation leveled against Vince McMahon. This accusation is at the top of today's news, as the former WWE Kingpin is currently the subject of a federal investigation and is juggling a significant lawsuit from Jano Grant, which many believe is what ultimately led to his son, Al, from WWE, who is a retired UFC fighter. He recently made some audacious accusations against Vince McMahon on the Flagrant podcast. I've never met Vince, but according to 11 people, he had affairs with 8 of them were consenting adults. This suggests that the other 2 were guys. I wasn't joking on the Jim Rome show, but I wasn't talking trash either. When the men started coming out, it was a different story. He went on to say that he would hold their careers over him in the same way that he would hold the women. It was the same thing: you get paid more, you get pushed harder. This isn't a secret in the industry, so don't think I'm talking trash. I mean, these are guys you would know about. For example, when asked if McMahon and Michael had slept together, he replied, "Whatever it is that they were doing, and keep in mind that Son's comments are hearsay, and they haven't been confirmed or refuted yet." Scandal that precipitated Vince's first retirement. One of the non-disclosure agreements purportedly involved a former WWE talent. Vince encountered many homosexuals, but he also encountered well-known straight men who aspired to succeed in the industry, which had evolved into prostitution. If these allegations are true, they could seriously harm the WWE and possibly the entire wrestling industry. The WWE is currently experiencing unprecedented success, but negative publicity could result in a decline in the popularity of the product and, more importantly for TKO Holdings, a loss of blue-chip advertisers and endorsement deals. What do you guys think of these accusations? Pat Patterson and some of the other executives did too. Everyone would know McMahon would think, "This girl turned me down. She's pulled off TV." Charges against a WWE star for allegedly stabbing a former wrestler, Cole Scorpio, aka Charles Skaggs, has been charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action, according to a TMZ article that detailed the circumstances around the alleged event. According to the report, Skaggs was working security at a gas station in Kansas City when he approached the man after he lit a cigarette. Skaggs claimed the man became upset and said, F you going to do?" Skaggs further claimed that when the two eventually made their way outside the store, the man attempted to grapple with him. During the altercation, Skaggs took a knife out of his pocket and stabbed the man in self-defense. The wrestler claimed the altercation continued for several more moments, during which he got in a few more stabs. According to TMZ, the man who was stabbed said that Skaggs started things and that he never smoked. Police report that upon arriving on the site, they discovered a stabbed man bleeding from his head, chest, buttocks, leg, and abdomen. Skaggs was freed after posting bond, and we'll keep an eye on this story as more details become available. WWE Raw on Monday accomplished a lot in building the card for Money in the Bank on Saturday, including adding 2 more wrestlers to the ladder matches that carry the same name. Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane faced up against Lyra Valkyria in the first of 2 MIP qualifying matches. With a constant goal of unsheathing each other's pins, the 3 women were determined to earn their place. Having failed multiple times at the Kirifuda clutch, Sane nailed Baszler with an insane elbow from the top rope when Valkyria managed to get out of his finisher. Then Valkyria seized the moment, hitting Sane with a Nightwing strike to win. She enters a field that Chelsea Green and Io Sky currently occupy. Following the unexpected Wyatt Six attack backstage, Chad Gable was initially disqualified from his qualifying match against Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. However, Adam Pearce announced in a video during Friday's WWE SmackDown show that Gable was back in the match. It appeared as though Strowman was winning the qualifier, but the Judgment Day surprised everyone by grouping together and pushing him up the ramp. Gable won the bout and made it to Money in the Bank by moonsaulting over Reed off the top rope when the referee was rendered helpless by WWE Triple Threat regulations. Jey Uso, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes have all qualified as well. Between the 2 matches, there are currently just 5 seats available, and those will be filled over the course of the upcoming week. The WWE SmackDown qualifiers on Friday will pit Naomi against Indy Hartwell against Blair Davenport and Candice LeRae against Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill. Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile, and Zoe Stark will square off for the final slot on Monday. Los Angeles Knight will compete against United States champion Logan Paul and Santos Escobar on SmackDown, while Drew McIntyre will compete against Sheamus and Ilja Dragunov on Raw. It is still unclear whether CM Punk will be permitted to perform at SummerSlam in his matchup with Drew McIntyre. Ever since Punk was hurt in the Men's Rumble match at the Royal Rumble, the two have been at odds. McIntyre and Punk have been at odds for a long time. Rumor has it that, despite his recuperation, WWE is optimistic Punk will receive the all-clear to compete in SummerSlam. Meltzer says they're hopeful, but it's still questionable. In an effort to gain more time, SmackDown is attacked, hopefully ensuring that Punk is prepared for SummerSlam. Though it's not a given, that's the main event they want to happen. Notwithstanding Punk's incapacity to wrestle, WWE has done a fantastic job developing the rivalry. After Drew won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40, Punk's attack on McIntyre created the conditions for Damian Priest to profit handsomely at Money in the Bank. Drew's opportunity to win the world title back was further ruined by Punk's meddling at Clash at the Castle. There has been a lot of intrigue in their ultimate confrontation because of these exchanges, and Drew's vicious attack on Punk on SmackDown. It's hoped that Punk will be primed for a confrontation at SummerSlam, turning it into a major event. WWE's narrative strategy has managed to keep fans interested and excited for when Punk and McIntyre ultimately square off in the ring. If Punk is cleared, their SummerSlam encounter is sure to be one of the main attractions of the occasion, leading up to a much-awaited showdown between two elite superstars. After losing to Finn Balor and Jada McDonough of the Judgment Day in the main event of WWE Raw, the Awesome Truth are no longer the WWE World Tag Team Champions, and Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion, is the one to blame. Morgan, who is still trying to persuade Dominic Mysterio to turn his back on a still-injured Rhea Ripley, asked R-Truth behind the scenes if he could get Raw General Manager Adam Pearce to give Judgment Day a chance at the tag titles. Truth was only too glad to oblige, telling his tag team teammate The Miz, who had started the evening on commentary with Michael Cole, that he was rooting for their budding romance. Morgan arrived down the ramp to join Mysterio, Carlito, and Judgment Day at ringside during the match. At one point, Miz appeared to have won the bout with a skull-crushing finale, but Carlito caught McDonough's leg on the below rope. Just as Braun Strowman's music started, Mysterio was struck down at ringside, and Morgan hurried over to assist him. Morgan stayed at ringside as the Biggest of B chased Mysterio and Carlito away. Truth gave both McDonough and Balor a five-knuckle shuffle, but Morgan stood up on the apron to divert his attention. With the referee's back to her, she gave Truth a massive hug before dropping him neck first on the top rope. To win, Balor climbed to the top rope and executed a coup de grace on Truth. As Raw aired, Balor and McDonough joyfully took their newfound tag team gold up the ramp and stood on stage with Morgan. Indianapolis lands 3 big plus. Breaking news says the city of Indianapolis has landed 3 major payouts. Pat McAfee tweeted the news at Breaking News. The WWE is officially bringing the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and the greatest spectacle in all of sports, WrestleMania, to the beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's go. And this news follows last week's rumors that Indianapolis's Lucas Oil Stadium was in consideration for several major plus. Royal Rumble will be held in 2025, while SummerSlam is currently scheduled to be held in 2026 as a 2-night event. There's no word on the date for Mania, but this is major news not only for Indianapolis, but for the WWE, which undoubtedly is getting major money for the hosting rights.